Welcome in, y'all. Going to do some best picks for this week 7 NFL. I'm 15-7 on my best picks so far, so doing pretty good there. And then against the spread, normally I am in the top 1%. So hoping to keep it going. Our first one we're going to look at is Rams and Jaguars, the London game overseas. And, the Rams are favored by 2.5 currently in this one. Puka Nakua's status is still to be determined. I think he's going to be out from what I can tell. But that doesn't necessarily scare me here. I think you look at these two teams just purely on paper, purely what I've seen this year. I just think the Rams are a better team. Jacksonville is good, maybe a little better than expected, but the Rams are kind of in the upper echelon of Super Bowl contenders, and Jacksonville is just kind of hoping to make the playoffs. I know their fans might think a little higher of them than that, but that's the reality of the situation. So even with Puka out, I think the Rams take care of business overseas. I don't think it's necessarily easy. I don't think it's a blowout, but the Rams find ways to win games like this. I think they get it done in London. So that is my first lock here. Not necessarily against the spread, but to win that one. Then we move on to the next game I want to look at. It's the Giants and the Broncos here. So the Giants, coming off a huge win, right? They're a great Thursday night win against the Eagles. They look like the better team in that one. They played great. Dart looked great. The crowd was fired up. You love to see it. And Denver's coming off a rough showing overseas. They got the win, but the offense just continues to be slow. And you take all that into consideration. This is a big spread, 6.5. Denver's favored. However, I'm going to take Denver 6.5 as a lock here for a couple reasons. I describe those two situations, and I think it's telling that the line is still this large. And on top of that, there was a lot of people on the Giants for the reasons I just talked about. The Giants have looked really good. But you can't forget that this is the same Giants team. I said this in my picks video. Same Giants team that 2 weeks ago, they lost to the Saints by more than 10 points. I think they lost by 12. And this Broncos team has a very, very good defense. And I think they can suffocate the Giants a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I could see like a nice 10-point win, low-scoring game. But I think the Broncos handle business here. They are just the better team. The Giants, the future is very, very bright. But they still have a ways to go. Denver's a better team. A lot of people on the Giants. Storylines are on the Giants. Take the Broncos here. So those are the only two locks I have. I didn't do any last week because I really wasn't feeling it. I actually ended up having a phenomenal week. I think it was 11-4, 10-5 against the spread, one of those. But this one, it's just 2. But I do have some heavy leans here. Games that I feel fairly good about, but there's a reason or two holding me back from saying it's one of my locks. The first one is Panthers-Jets. So the Panthers, I've talked about this extensively in several other videos. The Panthers have a very weird home-road split, right? Where on the road, they're playing pretty bad, but at home, it's like they're this elite team. They're 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. The Jets are 0-6. Everyone's loving the Panthers here. They're saying how are they only favored by a couple points? The Jets are horrible. Garrett Wilson's going to be out, it sounds like. And all of that, all I'm hearing in my head is take the Jets. Do I think the Jets are a better team than the Panthers? No, not necessarily. But I don't think the Panthers are as far ahead as you'd think. The Panthers, I said this in my other video, analytically, despite these good home wins, they're still in like the bottom 6 teams. Like all the advanced analytics or like different pages, they'll tell you that. So do be careful with the Panthers here. And it's a heavy lean because it's the Jets. I mean, it's the Jets. They're 0-6. They find ways to lose. They'll fumble the ball at the 1-yard line. Panthers going to run it back for 99 yards to win and cover. Something like that. I don't know. That's what's preventing it from being a lock on this one. They find ways to lose. But I don't like the way this looks for the Panthers in this one. But you know what? I hope the Panthers can go in there and get a win. I would love to see the Panthers 4-3 with a winning record. That'd be awesome. I am rooting for them. So we'll see how they do in that one. The next game I want to talk about, actually the next two, both Monday night, but we'll start with that first Monday night game. It's Tampa Bay at Detroit. This is one of those. Tampa Bay coming off a big win. They're 5-1, one of the best, I think tied for the best record in the NFL. Detroit coming off a tough loss at Kansas City, multiple scores, and Detroit's favored by 5.5. I'm seeing so many people take the Buccaneers outright. And let me be honest, I really think Tampa Bay could win this game. I really do. That's a reason why it's a lean here. But this is just one of those spots. It's a big number, and I think it's that way for a reason. Tampa Bay's very beat up. Detroit's beat up too, but Tampa Bay's very beat up, especially offensively. They might get Evans back. Haven't heard for sure yet as far as the time when I'm making this. But this could be one of those games, like I said in my other video, it could be 20-20, and the Lions get a touchdown, with a minute left, and so it's a super tight game, but the Lions cover. And I think it's going to be something like that, because I do not see the Lions blowing the Bucs out here. But 5.5, that's kind of weird. A lot of people are taking the Bucs. Lions, in their last 11 losses, they are 11-0 the following game under Dan Campbell. So keep that in mind. Again, what's keeping it from a lock is the Buccaneers have been really good, and they fought hard, and in close games, they've been finding ways to get it done. So I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa Bay found a way to win this game. But the way it's looking, I just like Detroit 5.5 in this one. And then the last one we're going to look at is Texans Seahawks. A lean here. So Houston's underdog by 3.5 in this one. Seattle has looked great, man. Seattle has looked like a very, very well put together football team. Their 2 losses are very close losses against 2 really good teams, the San Francisco 49ers when they were relatively healthy, and the Bucs. So a lot of stuff to like about the Seattle team. But on the flip side, you also have the Texans team that their last 2 weeks, they had a bye last week, so that helps. But there were 2 weeks before that, 2 blowout wins. Now, they played the Titans and an injured Ravens team, so they should have, but they still looked very good in those. And their 3 losses are to a very good Rams team, a very good Buccaneers team, and a better than expected Jaguars team. And those were all very close losses. So don't sleep on the Texans. I think a lot of people just forgot about them. They had a bye week and not too much talk about them. And Seattle's been playing so well, coming off that big win in Jacksonville, favored by 3.5 here. But I just think Houston is able to keep this thing close. I think the Texans could win it. I think I picked the Seahawks, but I do think the Texans could win this game, and I think they for sure keep it within the 3.5. I think that it could be a field goal game, right? You could be something like 23-20, something like that. But again, not confident enough to have it in my those first 2 a lock. But I do like this. I like the spot for the Texans. Seattle, their 2 losses have come at home, so I don't know. We'll see. Still learning more about both of these teams. But that's what I have for this week. Let me know what y'all think, and hope for a great weekend of football.